Hello and welcome to Organic Edible Garden. Today we're going to look at growing green manure crops. If you've got a space in your garden bed that over winter you're not going to plant veggies in, it's really important not to leave it bare. With the soil exposed to weather conditions, the rain can compact that soil. There's a whole range of green manure crops you can plant. There's things like your Broadbeans, which fix nitrogen into soil and give you a good crop at the end. Then there's your mustards. Your mustards grow really quickly, but they are a brassica. So if you intend to plant other brassicas in that bed, it's a bit of a problem because you can get clubroot. Then there's things like your buckwheat. Great flowers, great for the beneficial insects, but you don't get a lot from them. However, today we're going to plant two of my favourites, which are lupins and oats. You can buy lupins from any garden centre or home handyman store, and oats you can buy from any feed supply store. You want to put the lupins in reasonably thick. I'm just going to broadcast the lupins and the oats over the soil, and then with the rake I'm just going to fork them in. This bed that we're putting in has been badly neglected over the last couple of years and really needs some soil building. Now when these lupins are growing and they're flowering at about 10%, if you chop them down, they're a good green manure crop. If you let them all flower, they become a little bit harder and they become a good carbon crop. We're going to put our oats in a different part of the bed. I find that mixing them is not great for your green manure crops because some grow quicker than others. And we're going to plant these oats in the garden here because they're great soil builders. They get really dense and they do well in our humid conditions. So when we dig them over, you have a good amount of soil made by these oats. I'm putting them on reasonably thick. So even if the birds have some of them, there'll be a few that will still come through. There's no need to cover these seeds with soil. By using a rake and a forking action, it buries most of them under the ground. And if you're not going to plant a green manure crop and you've still got bare bed, you can always mulch it with a coarse mulch like leaf litter or even seaweed from the beach. And finally, a good watering on these seeds will bed them in and give them a good start. Seven weeks ago, we planted our onion when the soil was still warm to get them off to a good start. Now that the weather's turned a bit chilly, it's time to plant some companion plants around these guys. As onions don't like to compete for weeds, we're going to plant some violas around them. These are great because they spread and will smother those weeds, and they don't compete with the onions for nutrients. They're also great beneficial plants. They can bring in the insects, and they have a bonus that they're all edible. And of course I can't plant violas around my leeks because I'm always hilling them up and moving the soil. And even if they're growing to this height, I still keep hilling them up each week.